Hey guys, what's going on and welcome to the video. Today's vehicle is a 2011 Ford Edge that frequently carries around a couple of very dirty and hairy dogs. And with it being the first Edge that I've done that has cloth seats, I am already wishing it had leather. Alright, so taking a quick look at the outside of this Ford Edge, and besides some super dirty tires, there isn't too much for dirt around the vehicle, although there is quite the pile of bug guts on the front end, which I'm going to guess has been there all summer. And now moving inside, and it doesn't take long to see the interior of this vehicle is a complete disaster. Between the dog hair all over the dash to the mud on the seats, it's pretty clear the owner's dogs have spent a lot of time in here after rolling around in the mud. The trunk area is absolutely filthy and has a ton of dirt and debris embedded in the carpet. And then the second row seats and carpets are covered in dog hair and really just incredibly dirty. There's even dirt in the air vents. But just before we dive into this epic detail, take a quick second and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I post a new video like this every week, so if you've got the bell on too, you won't ever miss out on one. Alright guys, well as you can see, I've got a ton of work ahead of me to get this Edge completely transformed and looking sweet again. So as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alright, so getting started on the pre-wash rinse here, and with the exterior not being all that dirty, I can move through this step fairly quick, although this still does take about 15-20 minutes, as I'm still going to do a really thorough job to try to get the vehicle as clean as possible before the wash stage. Moving to the back end, and you guys might notice that nice new Detail Geek Auto Care banner hanging on the wall. And if you didn't catch last week's video, I announced the upcoming launch of my own product line, and I'll let you guys know in this video what some of the first few products are going to be. And as for launch day, if all goes to plan, it should be going live early next week. Moving up to the front end, and unfortunately with these bug guts being super stuck on the paint, the pressure washer isn't able to get much of it off, so I'll definitely be using some bug remover on them just before the foam bath and wash stage later on. Alright, so getting the edge covered in thick foam, and if you've ever wondered why I do this step, it's simply to give myself the opportunity to go around the whole vehicle and use my boar's hair detail brush in all the tight areas, like around the trim, side mirrors, behind the gas door, and especially on the front end where some of the bugs are stuck right in the crevices around the grille. Now, after seeing a little bit of iron contamination on the paint while I washed the vehicle, I figured I'd get that removed quickly with some iron remover, and although it's not as bad as some other vehicles, there is still a little bit of purple there where the iron particles are being dissolved, and then I'll just quickly get that rinsed off. Alright, turning to all the dirty floor mats and knowing how much dog hair there was in the vehicle, I knew I was going to need to use my lily brush to make sure that I could get it all out. And if you were wondering, yes, this is one of the products that will be available at detailgeekautocare.com, along with many others that I'll be producing. And like I mentioned earlier, the site should be going live next week, but if you haven't yet, you can give Detail Geek Auto Care a follow over on Instagram for some info on the first few products, and that'll be the best place to watch for updates about the launch. Moving to the dirtiest of the four mats, and with some carpet solution down, you'll notice I'm using a medium stiffness green drill brush here, and that is in fact one of the products you'll be able to get your hands on very soon. And as you know, if you've seen some of my other videos, the stiffer drill brushes come in super handy on tougher stains and grime. But you do have to be careful with the yellow ones you've seen me use, as they can definitely cause damage to carpets or seats if used too aggressively. So I specifically had these green brushes designed to be slightly less stiff to lower that risk, but I can attest to them working every bit as well, since I've used them on most of the vehicles you've seen on the channel in the past few months. Alright, moving to the interior now, and the very first thing to do here is get the front seats out, as it's simply too dirty everywhere to leave them in. And then I'm also going to remove the second row seats, as when I took the rear carpet out of the trunk area earlier, I could see all kinds of debris and grime underneath the seats that I wouldn't have been able to reach with them still in the vehicle. Then with the seats out, I'll quickly go around and toss all the obvious garbage and anything that's too big for the vacuum to suck up, like this old moldy Timbit the dogs lost underneath the seats. Now with the vehicle clean enough to sit in, I'll go around with my boar's hair and ultra soft detail brushes to gently lift any of the remaining dirt and dust out of the crevices and straight into the vacuum. using the ultra soft brush on the more delicate plastics that can scratch easily. Okay, moving to extracting the seats now, and after getting some lightning fast carpet solution sprayed on, I'll agitate with a Detail Geek soft white drill brush. And for those of you who might be wondering what kind of drill I use, as I have seen a few people ask recently, well, it's an 18 volt Bosch drill, and although I do have a 12 volt Milwaukee set as well, I prefer the Bosch as the extra power can come in really handy for stubborn stains. Now, as I start extracting the back seat now, I figured I'd let you know that I recently posted the paint correction and ceramic coating video of the Farm Mustang GT from last week over on the second channel, so make sure you give that one a look. And if you haven't subscribed over there yet, you really should, as I'm always making different types of videos, including a pretty unique one coming on Tuesday. Now, working on this section of carpet here, and I figured I'd explain a little bit of the process I follow when extracting carpets. So like I've mentioned before, I only use hot water in the Bissell and keep spraying water until it comes through clear. But you'll also always see me extract the carpet from at least 2 different directions, as carpet fibers generally lay in one direction in a vehicle, like back to front. So going over them in multiple directions will ensure that I can get them as clean as possible and that nothing gets left behind. Here's the completely full bucket of nasty, smelly water pulled from the edge. Gross. Okay, so having popped off these trim pieces earlier before vacuuming, the easiest and quickest way to clean them is with the steamer. So I'll simply just spray on some APC, blast them with steam, and wipe them clean. And if you've ever thought to yourself, man, that steamer looks like it would be lots of fun to use, well, you'd be right. And as you've seen, it makes quick work of almost any dirt or grime. So if you've ever considered picking one up, be sure to give the McCulloch MC1375 a look. The link is down in the description for you. All right, moving to the paint now, and for those observant people out there, you'd notice I'm using a different polisher here, as I have recently retired my Griot's Garage DA polisher, and I picked up this Rupees Bigfoot polisher, and although my other ones served me well for years, it was just time to upgrade a little bit, and so far I am loving this machine. Alright, second last step here before this detail is done is to get all the black exterior plastic trim dressed with 303's aerospace protectant to give it some UV protection and really make it pop. Alright guys, and 13 very long hours later, the edge is super clean and looking incredible. Now if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash the thumbs up button for this awesome transformation. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Enjoy the guitar outro, and I will see you guys in the next one.